Hi, hello. Happy Bank Holiday Friday. Happy VE Day. Hi, hello, hello. Hi, Carol. First off the mark. Hi, Karen. Very nice to have you with me today. Oh, gosh, I don't know about you, but it's hot here this morning. Down in the West Country, the sun is shining. I've been out in the garden. You can see I've got some of my lovely pelargoniums behind me, and they're here for a very good reason because I'm going to be chatting about them in just a moment. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Rachel. Let me just patch in our friends on Facebook. And then we can get cracking. Hi, Facebook. Good morning. Hi to everybody from the West Country. You join me on a beautiful day, pretty much clear skies, sun is shining, birds are singing, and it's VE Day. Did you celebrate or mark the 2 minute silence? I did. I gathered my kids and we watched, had the BBC News on and watched Prince Charles and the Queen and listened to the bagpipes and then had the 2 minute silence. So yeah, there we go. So I'm in red, white and blue, just to mark the day. This was all I could find. So I've got my Christmas cardigan on, which you might have seen me talk about on my Instagram at Christmas time because I went to Vivi Rouleau and got some kind of little gold braid to update stuff. And a white vest and a blue beach dress. So there you go. That's the best I could manage. So I hope that's all right. And I've got my mug, Keep Calm and Carry On. Actually, no, Keep Calm and Rain On. Yeah, my kids gave it to me because they say that when I get cross, I'm like scary, like Queen Elizabeth III. So keep calm and rain on. That is the mood. I'm sorry it all comes out backwards, doesn't it, in mirror writing. Well, today I've got Amy, my digital editor, is joining us on Facebook. Hi, Amy. Hi, everybody over there. Thanks for all your comments. Hi, Linda. Really nice to have you with us, and a huge thanks to Amy. Amy's been a star actually behind the scenes. She's one of the reasons that our new website looks so brilliant, and she's managed to upload a couple of little treats on there, which I'm going to tell you about at the end. But first, I'm going to dive straight in because we are so thrilled to have had so many lovely chats with the amazing Simon Lycett, who is an incredible celebrity florist. Do check out his Instagram or his Facebook after this, because he normally at this time of year would be super busy creating amazing creations for, you know, mega expensive weddings and events, and of course Chelsea Flower Show and all of that stuff. And of course that's all stopped. So I've been trying to support lots of British florists, talking about British flowers. My local florist, I now get a regular delivery from her because obviously all her events are cancelled. So, you know, we're all in this together, aren't we? We're all just trying to find ways to keep each other going. And Simon and I are involved in a great initiative actually on Sunday, which is Garden Day, for those of you who don't know. And there's so much going on. You can live in a virtual garden all day Sunday. There's just lots of lovely, lovely things happening. And anyway, I'll give you news about that tomorrow and a link where you can join me. So I am actually going to be doing something similar to my Instagram lives on Sunday at 12:30. But that's linking up with Garden Day. But for now, let's see, is Simon in the house? Where are we? Simon Lycett. Yes, here you are. I've requested you. So let's hope that you're there. Let's hope our technology works. This time last week, he was huddling under an umbrella. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Liz. How are you?
I'm so well. Gosh, the sun is out in southwest London.
It's gorgeous out here. I'm just going to
Oh.
angle you up a tiny weeny
Yeah, I'm
bit.
going to have to angle you up, honey, too. Now, of course, our lovely friends on Facebook can't see you, but they can hear you. So that is the most
Lovely
important
friends on
thing.
Facebook, thanks for joining. I'm sitting in a bower of flowers in my garden in the sun.
Oh,
And as Liz and all her Insta friends can see, over my shoulder are some beautiful English ranunculus. And then here I am surrounded by Liz, one of our favourite plants, the scented
pelargonium. And
pelargonium.
I'm surrounded here, so I'm matching, okay? We're matchy-matchy today. And I have to say, the scent that comes off these, and it's not from the flowers, is it? It's from the
No.
leaves.
And I'm drinking it as a tea today as well.
Oh my goodness, what did you make that tea out of?
The leaves.
So you take a scented pelargonium leaf and just stick it in some hot water?
Take about 10. I have this
Okay.
cute little cafetiere here that
Oh,
just is
yeah.
a sort of 1 cup. So I put 10 leaves, give them a rinse, put 10
Yeah.
leaves in, top up with boiling water and then leave it to stand. The leaves go a slightly unattractive khaki colour, but
Right.
the drink is delicious and it's so calming. You know all about the health benefits of these amazing plants.
Yeah, I mean they are the scent of the pelargonium, and it's really interesting because the essential oils that give off that aroma are in the leaves. So that's why if you have a pelargonium plant, if it's in your window box or in your garden, and you just crush the leaf, it releases those amazing oils because the flowers don't have any smell at all. They look really pretty, but they're not the stars of the show. It's the leaf.
And the joy of it for me is the fact that they are one of the easiest plants to grow. If you have a garden, they're great. But even if you don't have a garden, mine all just thrive in a whole assortment of pots.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
to be
I've got mine
honest,
here too.
they get quite reckless and leggy. And then at this time of the year, it's the perfect excuse to snip off a few stems.
Right.
And then you can create your own new little plants from cuttings. It's so easy.
So you just take a stem off here. Do you have to cut it at a particular part of the plant?
So if we have a stem like this, the idea is what I want to do is cut off just below a leaf node. So just where leaves would be intersecting.
Yeah, so I can see here, I've got, this is like a greeny stem.
That's
and then it goes brown and woody. So that would be my little leaf node just here.
Yeah. So remove that. And then if you remove the growth part as well, what you don't want is a whole load of growth tips happening.
Okay. So you don't want these leaves.
You want a couple of 3 leaves, but you don't want the new growth tip because otherwise it'll put all its energy into trying to flower and it won't be putting out root. Right. And then I don't even use hormone rooting powder. Some people say you can use saliva. Some people say you can use cider vinegar with the mother in it. So it's basically an anti-fungicide that you just would wash that end in and then into my pot of compost. In it goes. And the reason that we've removed our leaves is what we don't want is leaves under the soil that will start to decompose.
Right.
So
basically, so you've got a little geranium stalk with just 1 or 2 leaves on the top. You've dipped it in some apple cider vinegar as a natural fungicide. Love that tip. I never knew that. And shoved it in just a little pot of soil. That's amazing. And that's going to root. That will grow roots from the stem, will it?
I did these, I reckon, probably 3 weeks ago, and already they are rooting. And they're rooting. To see that suddenly the leaves, they don't look like they're shriveling. They look like they're sustained. And,
that looks flourishing. I'm going to share with you actually a little story about this because I went down to my greenhouse. Those of you on Instagram will know I posted a picture of me in my greenhouse just a couple of days ago by coincidence. And I've got lots of pelargoniums up there because I rotate them. So I bring them indoors like this. And then when they need to go back out or be refreshed or whatever, I kind of, have a rotation system going. And this one, this is really special to me because I went on a trip to Jerusalem. I did a kind of whole tour of the Holy Land ages ago. And I was telling a friend about it when I got back. And she said, oh, I went on a garden trip. Because you can go to, it's called the Garden Tomb, and it's you go and see all the sites, and it's a place where they believe that Jesus was buried, and they run it as a beautiful garden. It's an English garden. It's English people that run it. But I know it's amazing, isn't it? And she said it was full of pelargoniums, and she got talking to the gardener there, and he said, "Oh, I'll give you a cutting." So she brought home, must have been like a little stalk, just like you've talked about. And her greenhouse is full of these things that come from the Garden Tomb in Jerusalem. And she gave me one. And since then, I've got about 6 of these now, which is just such a special thing to think it's come all that way with all that potential history. So I don't know what the different varieties are, because obviously they're all different colours. And do you have a kind of a favourite? I mean, this is a lovely one that I've got. Oh, if I can bring that one to show you. I mean, that's an amazing colour, isn't it?
Gorgeous. Absolutely. I mean, because yours have all been in the greenhouse, they're flowering so beautifully. I don't have a greenhouse, so mine are all just starting now to break into flower. And this is another one that I absolutely adore, which has a slightly different shape of leaf. So the leaves are, so this is the leaf of quite a lot of them, but these are actually much more, they look like you've had a go at them with the pinking shears, really.
Yeah, they're like frilly, so that they're not solid like this one. If I show my friends on Facebook, so that's kind of a solid geranium leaf, whereas the ones you're talking about actually is a bit like my my Israeli one here. If I have a look at that one, it's a bit more like that, isn't it?
Yes, and this is lemon scented, this one.
Lovely.
And so the joy of this is a lot of people believe that it helps keep mosquitoes away.
Mm.
So, and it's such a lovely...
Just by having it growing in the house or around you.
Having it growing around you. And also when you
great.
rub the leaves, after you've rubbed the leaves, there's just a lovely feeling. And so if you just give a little bit of that...
Oh, he's doing this. He's doing this. He's rubbing on. This is a natural... Oh, my goodness. So I'm going to get rid of the midges.
Yeah.
That have been plaguing me by just rubbing this on. Isn't that great? Well, I know that aromatherapists, when they use rose-scented geranium, they're using the essential oil that's been extracted from the leaves. And it does have a very calming scent. So they often use it for blends for anxiety and mood lifting, if you're feeling quite low, you know, to kind of lift out of depression, because it's a really gentle smell, isn't it? It's
yes.
That lemon verbena-y smell is, I mean, we know that citrus is uplifting, but it's also softened like a floral, like almost like a rose.
The rosy layer just below it, it also has an element of astringency, so it feels quite clean, but it also feels quite gentle and calming. There's nothing particularly antiseptic about it, but you know it's doing you good.
Absolutely. And can you flower arrange with them? I mean, will they last in water?
They are wonderful. So stems of this sort of length, which is why I let my plants get a bit leggy, so I can cut myself pieces like this, and this I
have a big
strip off the lower leaves, which I will use for my tea.
Okay, lower leaves, keep the leaves for tea. Excellent.
And then this, as you can see, there's a beautiful pale pink flower, quite a geranium-y style of flower.
Yeah, a bit like this one, actually. A bit like that one, isn't it?
This will last for weeks in flower arrangements if it's just in cut water, and occasionally it will put out some roots at the bottom end, so it will.
Oh, so would it be worth planting that if it puts out roots?
Absolutely, I would say nip off the tip the top tip, but yes, if it's put out some roots, it's definitely worth it.
Because I've got here, I mean, those of you who've been watching me in my bedroom for my Instagrams might see this little vase. This is a little kind of bud vase. And I've just put my geranium flowers in there, and because I love mixes of pinks, because that's my Wellbeing colour. And they last for ages and ages. Just top up the water, and, you know, I probably had these in a little vase for over a week.
Yeah, they will last for ages. And also quite a lot of the flowers that we have, if we're buying flowers in, quite a lot of them don't have a great deal of fragrance. So if you just put in a few stems of herbs, be it mint or rosemary or some wonderful scented pelargonium, suddenly your arrangement has the most glorious fragrance as well.
Absolutely wonderful. Now, you're going to be doing something on National Garden Day, aren't you, on Sunday?
I am. So I will be live over on Garden Day UK's feed at 12 till 12:20. I'm creating an extravagant floral crown.
Excellent. And I'm going to be trying my hand at doing something just after you, because I'm on at 12:30.
Brilliant.
Oh my goodness, I've got to follow you. They didn't tell me that. That's really unfair. Couldn't it be the other way around? Couldn't you watch the duffer doing it first and then see the professional?
I've seen your arranging, Liz, and you're brilliant at it.
Well, that's really kind of you. I look forward so much to seeing you virtually on Sunday. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Lots of love to you. Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, isn't that great? Gosh, so much stuff. You know, I love talking to Simon, because you just think, oh, you're just going to have a chit chat about flowers, but actually there's so much more. And I think we have a shared love of botanicals and all the things that they do. And actually something I hope Simon's still watching, something that I meant to share. You know, we were talking about the therapeutic properties of the leaf and it actually being the leaf. And he showed that lovely variegated leaf shape. which is this shape here. And this is the one with the essential oils in it. So this is the one that you can make into tea or you can crush. Well, my whole journey into jewelry came from the scented pelargonium leaf. Isn't that amazing? So I found my first piece of jewelry and I wanted to share it with you because I did this in collaboration with Boodles. Boodles are a very high-end, expensive British jewelry company. This is their beautiful box. And I love Boodles because they ethically source all their stones. And they're just a really nice family British jewelry brand. Obviously very, very expensive, but really, really good. And I got to know them because I became aware of a charity in India called Shining Faces. And it's a charity that I want to support. And I was also, thinking about jewelry and all of that. So basically, we put our heads together, the directors of Boodles and I, and we created together this necklace, which is the rose pelargonium necklace. And this was done, oh gosh, so many years ago now. It must be 6-7 years ago. Hey, somebody on Instagram remembers it. And if you look at it, what I said to them was I wanted to make the leaf the hero, because normally it's always the flower, isn't it? But if you look at that, can you see? And I've done it in rose gold with pink sapphires that came from India, from near where this orphanage is that we supported. So that was the piece. We only, I think, had 100 of them, and they were very limited. And then little gold and sapphire, pink sapphire flowers. Do you see there? And these were all with the Indian sapphires, which they were, very fairly mined and ethically sourced and all of that. And every single penny that was made from this went back to the Shining Faces orphanage. So isn't that amazing that it's kind of come full circle all these years later, talking about the scented pelargonium? And there it is. And actually, I'm super proud of this because it's got the little Boodles. You can't really see it on here, but it's got the little Boodles logo, and also it says Liz Earle. And actually that then kind of led me into the whole world of jewelry because I so loved working on that collaboration with them. And I began to learn more about things like fair trade gold and the ethical sourcing and provenance of different jewelry pieces, and also about making things representative. So for example, when I was working on this piece with the Boodles guys, these are just sort of little random flower shapes really, but the pelargonium shaped leaf is quite intricate and it's quite representative. It does actually look like a pelargonium leaf. And I wanted to then expand that into a range of botanical based jewelry. So that's why I started my little Liz Earle jewelry collection, which I don't really talk about very often because it's just a little sideline that is something that maybe I'll do more of in the future. But everything in here, this is how it comes, is made of fair trade gold. So these are handmade by artisans in Peru, and they come with a little card of authenticity. It gives you the little fair trade logo here. Very unusual to have fair trade gold. I also do some that are in rhodium plated, so they look like silver. I don't know if you can see those, but those are the little rosebuds. These are the little ones that I wear at the moment in my little rose necklace. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because I just thought that that was quite appropriate. And actually also these are a couple that I love. I know a few people have made comments about these because I have a eucalyptus series. So I've used a lot of the famous ingredients that I've used for so many years, whether it's in health and beauty and well-being or whatever. So these are my little eucalyptus earrings, and they're climbers, so you can wear them. I love things that multitask. So you can wear them two ways. You can either wear them kind of climbing up your ear like that, or you can have them like that, little kind of dangly ones. So anyway, there you go. Actually, the whole point of me telling you that, of course, is that there's 20% off everything. The sale was actually supposed to end yesterday. It's Liz Loves 20 on anything on the Liz Earle Jewelry website. And I checked in with my team yesterday, and I was telling them about what I was going to do today. And I was saying, I'm talking to Simon, we're talking about pelargoniums. It reminded me I needed to find my Boodles necklace and, tell you that whole story. And I said, and of course, it's great because we've got 20% off the jewelry. And they said, no, that offer's just about to finish. It's supposed to finish at midnight last night. And I said, no, keep it going. So I think for celebration of VE Day, come on, we need some cheering up, some celebration. So we're going to keep it going for another week. So I just mentioned that. A couple of other things that I'm going to mention, which will probably have my team rolling their eyes. because I have found, when I was clearing out, I have found a box of these magazines. So this, regular readers will probably recognize this one. This one was from last summer. I have found a box of 20 of them in my farm office, and I am very happy to send these out as single copies with a free copy of the spring one, because I do have quite a few of these which I found at the farm. So if you want to grab this one, then I'll pop this one in as a bonus. And the reason I wanted to talk about this one actually, and thought it was quite relevant, because this was last summer, and actually the things in here are so relevant. I'm so glad I found this. So if you've got this at home, if you can find it, do go and take a look at it, because a couple of things that really struck me. One was a feature. I mean, how did we know that this was going to be so important for this time? It's called How to Holiday at Home. It's kind of what we're doing right now, isn't it? So how to holiday at home without traveling, going anywhere. It's 25 recipes in here. So it's almost like its own little mini recipe book. And it also talks about the importance of vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is something that we're hearing more and more about as we talk about our immune system and the best ways to support it. And the vitamins that I think are really going to be helpful going forward, especially as we look to come out of lockdown and we're going to be mingling more with other people. So really, these next few weeks going ahead are the ones when we're going to need to really start thinking seriously about how we best support our immune system. So if we do, for some awful reason, come into contact with the virus, how can we best protect ourselves? And the studies are ongoing, obviously. We've got factors like vitamin C. I've written a whole piece actually on the Earle Wellbeing website called, I think it's something like How Liz Supports Her Immune System, something like that. Anyway, it's kind of what I do. And I shared this very early on. I shared this weeks ago. And I put links to some of the specific things that I take, because I do take quite a lot of vitamin C. I use a powder and I take, well, anything. At the moment, I've scaled it back because it's just me and the kids here on the farm. So I'm probably taking, I don't know, 2 or 3 grams a day. But certainly when I'm going out, I'm going to be thinking about ramping that up. I mean, at one point I was taking about 8 grams a day spread throughout the day as a powder, and also vitamin D. Now, if you can get outside, brilliant, because we're synthesizing vitamin D through the skin. So that's really important. But obviously many of us are also concerned about aging and sun damage. So there is a trade-off, isn't there? There's, you know, I think for me, I always use a sunblock on my face and right here, because this is the bit that kind of goes all crepey and wrinkly. And I use it on the backs of my hands as well. But for my arms, for my shoulders, my back, you know, my legs, if I'm wearing something, you know, shorter, then yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy to have that in the sun, because I'm aware that it's giving me a good dose of vitamin D. But for those of us who don't get outside, who are maybe confined to lockdown or don't have the sunny weather or don't have the opportunity, then, you know, vitamin D is a really important supplement to look at. And I've got links to a spray form that I use because that's been shown to be better absorbed. I give it to every member of my family. My children have it. Even government guidelines are that we should all be supplementing with vitamin D. So I think we're going to be hearing a lot more about it. So, you know, when I pulled this out of the box and I saw this vitamin D, I just thought, yes, actually. And then when I saw it said holiday at home, yep, that's another tick. And of course, all the lovely recipes in here as well. So I do only have 20 of them, sorry. So I shouldn't kind of bang on about it. It's only on the Earle Wellbeing website. So you have to go there, and it won't say anything about getting the free one, because that's just what I'm going to do here myself. So don't tell my team. Amy, you have to put your fingers in your ears. You didn't hear that. And just to say that if I do send out anything, any of the magazines, the single issues from the that are on the website, I've got lots of back issues there because we've been having a bit of a sort out. Then if I do send any of the back issues, then I will put one of these in as long as I've got them. You know, I found a big box, so as long as they last, then I'll put another one in. But that's only for the ones that come here from the farm, because that's something that I'm doing myself. If you subscribe through Warner's, who are great, they give you the deal on the magazine subscription, they've got a few of this year's single issue. They don't know anything about this, so they get really confused if you say, where's my free copy? If you buy it from Warner's, they don't know what's going on. So you have to go through the Liz Earle Wellbeing website to get the single issues. So anyway, I hope that's not going to cause too much confusion. It's like all these things when you just suddenly decide to kind of randomly do something, and my team I know are kind of rolling their eyes and going, oh, Liz, she's gone rogue again, she hasn't told us. So anyway, we'll deal with that later, but hopefully you all understand what I mean. A couple of other people are asking about it on Instagram. So this is the one, it's last summer. That's me on the beach in Lamu. Happy days, East Africa. Oh, it's so long to be there. My eldest son is in Kenya, and they are on serious lockdown. They're not even allowed to move around at all. So it's very, very difficult and very challenging for them. And it'll be interesting to see actually what happens over there, I think, because obviously they're on the equator. Kenya is on the equator. So there's sunshine pretty much 12 hours a day from dawn till dusk, more or less. But you've got some sun, certainly you've got, as long as it's not pouring with rain, you've got a good chance of getting sun. So people have got naturally very high levels of vitamin D, and they're now saying that this might give some natural protection. So we shall see. So this weekend, I hope that you are going to have a good one. It feels weird, doesn't it? It doesn't kind of feel, I guess it feels a bit like a weekend because it's quiet, but then it's always quiet here. It's just, it's not really changing so much. But I am going to be, okay, so question here, talking about a lady whose mother is in a care home. Should she take vitamin D? Well, the government recommendation is that everybody takes vitamin D, yes, especially, of course, if you are housebound. And certainly the spray form is good. So go to Liz Earle Wellbeing. If you go to the homepage of my new look website, super smart. I'm really so thrilled with that. I was looking at it yesterday. My team did a great job. We finally got there. We had a few technical issues this week with the old gremlins, but they seem to have been sorted. But yes, if you look at, there's a piece there on immune boosting, and we're not really boosting. Boosting is kind of the wrong word to use when you're talking about your immune system. You're supporting. You're finding the best strategies to help support the immune system. And that's about things that we can include. So things like vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc is really important, magnesium, which we've talked about. And then there's all the other things that we should perhaps be cutting back on as well. So alcohol, I know it's really easy, isn't it? I'm guilty of perhaps drinking a little bit too much in the evenings at the moment. So I'm watching myself. I've actually started to drink a wine that I don't like because then I don't have as much of it. So, yes, rather than my favourite, because then I'll have an extra glass. So that's the kind of key thing. If you want some alcohol, choose something that you don't like. Maybe I should start drinking beer or something because I don't like beer. Anyway, thinking out loud is always a dangerous thing, isn't it? So it's things that we shouldn't be doing to keep our immune system high. So obviously things like too much alcohol, things like too much sugar, that sugar is, the number one for me, that we should be cutting down on carbohydrates, sugars, and just being very careful with that, keeping our levels of fat and protein high, doing our exercises, again, not too much, not overdoing it. I was talking to Michael Gary about it, and he was saying, just be careful with all this HIIT, the high intensity exercise. Yes, it's good. And I was doing some weights this morning, and he was really kind of making me work quite hard. But he was saying you do have to make sure that you get your rest, that you measure, and that it's not all to do with high intensity, lots and lots of push-ups and nothing else. You also need to make sure that you get your endurance in as well. So that's why running is so good. Even if you don't run, for me, I'm not a natural runner. I don't run very fast. I don't run very far, but I do get out there and I do run. And again, there's a piece on the website about going running and how to get started and the best shoes to wear and the best ways to start. I know a lot of people are doing the Couch to 5K app. Michael said to me this morning, because I'm not going to see him now till Monday morning, my next session with him online. And he said, okay, Liz, so your challenge this weekend is to do a 5K. So, okay, right, haven't done a 5K for a while. So I know for a lot of people who are serious runners, that doesn't sound very much, but for me, that's quite a lot. So I'm going to be doing it at some point. Don't know quite when, because actually this weekend is a busy one. So before I go, I'll just tell you what the plan is. I will be back with you tomorrow at 12:30. I will be in my kitchen. I will be cooking some things up from my yearbooks, which I haven't got here to show you, but you know where they are. If you've got them already, make sure you've got them to hand. Yearbook 1 and Yearbook 2. I've got signed copies here from the farm, so if you want them, then just hop online. You can get those. I will also be doing a bit of fitness. This is the download Stronger Slimmer You, which I did with Michael Gary. I'm certainly going to be trying to do a little bit more fitness this weekend and hopefully get that 5K in. So that's going to be tomorrow. And then on Sunday, normally I don't do an Instagram live on Sunday because that's my kind of family day. But this Sunday is a special day because it's Garden Day. And you can follow them actually on Instagram and Facebook. It's Garden Day UK. And there's lots and lots going on. They've got really fun people, including Simon, who, my goodness, is going to be before me. That's just awful because we're making beautiful flower crowns. I'm going to show you one tomorrow as a little kind of sneaky preview. But my goodness, I bet his is going to be amazing. Mine's probably going to be a bit rubbish. But anyway, we'll try. See what we can do. I'm going to be guided by top florist, who's Julie, who's going to help me with that one. So anyway, so set a date in your diary. So you've got me right the way through now. You've got me, you know, and all next week. So 12:30 till 1. We are saving these now and putting them also on YouTube because I know that Instagram, not quite sure what's going on with Instagram, but they're not showing them to everybody, which is a shame. So I think Facebook, obviously you guys are seeing it. If you know somebody on Instagram who isn't seeing it, then you could head them over to Facebook because we'll obviously save it there, or YouTube as well a bit later on. We will load it up. I hope you've got your magazine. Those of you who subscribe will have this one, hopefully by now, landing on your doormat. And a friend of mine sent me a picture last night from Waitrose where she had just been shopping and she saw it and it was on the shelves, the actual retail version of this one. This one you can subscribe with 30% off. That money off is still there. If you just go to the Liz Wellbeing website, you will see it. So that is all for now. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a very happy VE day. Anybody doing garden parties, virtual tea and cakes, all of that? I am going to be eating these to celebrate. These are my very first strawberries from the garden. Aren't they beautiful? They're like little red jewels. Look at that. And what an amazing colour too. So that is going to be my tea time treat. Have a great VE day and enjoy the virtual celebrations. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Sending you lots of love. Bye-bye.